Big game worth remembering with lots of plot twists and turns.
Let's get in the stadium.
Yeah, just after sunset, Malzahn and the Tigers walked out as the big underdogs. The Noles double-digit favorites here, but Auburn showed that month of preparation had paid off offensively and defensively. The opening drive with this handshake, and it's Trey Fisher, Jimbo's son, and the traditional handshake with Winston, but it was Marshall and the Tigers who came out pitching the ball around successfully. This drop for Cardinal Lewis, the hero against Georgia, could have been huge.
Yeah, this after a timeout, a quick ball, caught Florida State napping on that first drive, and they missed it. They missed one against Coach Saban also in the first drive against Bama in the Iron Bowl.
That's right. Next drive for the Noles, a big 21-yard run by Devontae Freeman. And then on 3rd and 16, Winston 29 yards to Rashad Green.
A rare opportunity, as it would turn out, for him to throw the football on 3rd down. Look at the amount of time that he has, giving Green plenty of time to work. And there's Chris Davis again. Second time we saw him in that opening series lose his balance and his footing.
But once again, David, the Tigers defense all year has been tough in the red zone. They get the sack here.
Yeah, and they've been great. They've held people to 3 instead of 7. But how about the pass rush? Rotating bodies in and out, frustrating Jameis Winston really early in this ballgame.
That was a field goal. Then Malzahn chooses not to go for it on 4th and 5 from the 40. And Stephen Clark makes him look smart with the sand wedge.
Wow. That was as good as you could hope for. And really, throughout the game, it seemed like Florida State was deep in their own territory to start almost every drive.
Right, but that kick and down on that ball there is what set up this next score off this punt return here that gives them great field position.
Absolutely.
In the short field to score a touchdown.
That's right.
We didn't really think that field position was going to be all that important with these two high-powered offenses. You give Marshall the ball inside the 25, Kirk, forget about it. I mean, it's almost an automatic 7.
Yeah, and all of a sudden we started to realize Auburn had a chip on their shoulder, and they were playing with a lot of confidence, and they finally get Trey Mason loose out in space. It looks like a double screen. He could have gone right or left depending on the coverage. Talked about the zone pressure that the Noles played with. It opened it up, and there's big Greg Robinson getting out in front to lead the way.
You can see the 5 guys rushing, so they don't have anybody on number 3, to the flat, which is the guy catching the screen, and 73 gets a great block there, and great finishing drive.
Yeah, by 580-some minutes since they trail. On 3rd down, why did the Auburn defense make it so tough for the Noles?
Well, first of all, they got after Jamison a little bit, but they played press coverage, and they took away the easy throws. Look at this. This is blitz. I mean, this is man coverage across the board. Rashad Green, Kelvin Benjamin, all these weapons we've heard about for weeks and weeks and weeks are supposed to get open.
I thought Ellis Johnson's plan was masterful in confusing the offensive line and also getting after Jameis Winston.
Speaking of confusion, Melvin Ray's running 3 against the Noles.
Well, they had a field pressure on here that when they go that unbalanced rocket motion, you need to check out of this. Because that linebacker, that inside linebacker's got to cut out the 2. This safety's playing over the top in the half. You really have no chance.
The other thing, and you know this, certain personnel tell you and tip the hand of the offense. 20 gets into the game on that jet sweep. All year long they see that, but that's right. They didn't adjust there very well, and the linebackers got lost there.
You pointed out, Kirk, the guys up front were confused for the Noles for some reason. Winston pressured a fumble. The backup defensive line was in there at this point.
It's easy to point the finger at Jameis Winston, but again, this is the offensive line. They're flat out getting whipped in the first half by the combination of different looks and just flat out getting out hustled, and Auburn played with more of a chip on their shoulder in the trenches.
Juan Gray, a 10-yard play.
Really a blown coverage here. They motion over to what I call trade formation, run pick play. There we go again.
They set him up. You get caught up in the inside game. Then you get outflanked. They had both of their big fullbacks in there. They were able to come up with blocks, and with the speed of Nick Marshall, he gets to the corner.
You can see Malzahn. He senses the Florida State defense is confused. He says, snap the ball, snap the ball.
But watch what they do up top. They don't have to block the defensive end at the end of the line of scrimmage because he kind of blocks down. That's enough. That one false step, you can't catch 4-4.
I really don't think, though, anybody really knows how difficult it is to substitute players against this team.
Yeah.
This guy had Florida State down 14-3. Now, there might be Auburn might have a few more athletes on defense, but you still had them down 14-3. How'd they get back into it? What did they start doing?
Well, they hit a couple big plays.
Yeah.
I mean, right before the half, they hit us on a big play. It's your playmakers got to step up and make plays.
Steve Adazio of BC just before the half. This was a gutsy call by Jimbo Fisher at 4th and 4. Carlos Williams is a great runner, and he just does, on this reverse, get the first down.
Well, it's not just a gutsy call and they pick up the first down and gives them a chance to continue to drive. It changed the complexion and the momentum of the football game, which is exactly what the Noles needed at that time.
On 3rd and 8, though, Winston steps up, avoids the sack, gets the first down.
And this was, they ran a quarterback sweep, but it was hit legs after that 4th down conversion that got the sticks moving.
Heisman Trophy stiff arm.
Oh,
And he gets here.
But you know, all these plays that we're watching that Auburn's defense was successful on are all loose play downs, all half. Florida State's offensive line struggled.
Yep.
So 21-10 after Devontae Freeman took it in there, and all of a sudden it's a new ball game, and the Noles
A different feel in that locker room, whether they get things going here or not. But here comes that defense from Auburn. They're not letting it offense.
overthrows Kenny Shaw here again. Not the time to react he's used to.
This is, again, though, it's just straight blitz coverage, man. This is all-out blitz.
Watch how quick the ball gets out in the next drive, though.
This is what changed. This is what that's the adjustment. And then we get the receivers where they can make plays in space, get Benjamin involved so it's not just Green. That was a great adjustment, I think, by Jimbo Fisher.
And a lot of these little bunch stack looks that, you know, made easy, quick reads for the quarterback.
And they were running out of those formations, too. They got the running game going in the second half, made a concerted effort.
What a throw here to the big guy at 6'5". He throws it back to the inside. He actually held just enough room for him to make that catch.
This time Winston scrambles. Not a super quick guy, and he's corralled, and so Florida State has to settle for 3 and cut the lead to 8 at this point.
Different deal on the other side of the football, but how about D. Ford and these defensive ends? We knew Carl Lawson and D. Ford would give Florida State
Possession games that won 6 of them this year. Malzahn had never lost a one-possession game as a head coach in his 2 years. But Nick LaBall is going to be recovered by Joyner, but a bad decision there by the quarterback.
I think it was the first real bad decision by Nick Marshall.
Over and under on a guy. It's a, you know, tough one to try to fit in there.
Yeah.
Defensive back.
Devontae Freeman would get going and would finally have some success running inside against the Tigers.
Yeah, I mean, you got to stick to it to help your quarterback out, especially when he was struggling a little bit. Then more of the same. Guys getting...
Abram would collect his ball in the flat and hurtle into the end zone.
You know, Rashad Green's lined up off to the right. He goes to the slant, takes the corner with him, and the safety 20 he is, and getting out there to try to get his shoulders in front of that fullback.
But after the touchdown, a celebration.
And they wanted to go for 2 at this point in the game, obviously, to try to tie it up, but they get moved back to the 18-yard line.
Are you kidding me?
Look at him at the top there.
That's why it's tough to be a coach, Nick.
Oh, my gosh. Coach?
I tell you what, that's a tough situation. But
Aguayo, the freshman, with the long extra point, but Auburn
games and big games like this.
But he shakes off the interception. Marshall, a nice throw here to Lewis.
This all 4th quarter, they got the passing game with a little play action. They started running everything.
Big number 8, Kirk, was gassed.
He was. They started to have success into the interior, and then it opens those defensive linemen down.
Big stop here. Big stop.
Coach was open. He had an opportunity to make the play, but he had to run so fast to get flushed. And the linebacker came across his face.
Cody Parkey had missed one earlier in the game, knocks the chip shot through, and Auburn's lead. The team 100 yards, and this place came unglued as the Noles took their first lead.
You know, on coverage here from Auburn, they had a guy pull a hamstring or cramp on the right side. He collapsed. Running down, he moves into the middle. The guy right next to him, watch him go down with a hamstring. He collapses and goes down. So you've got 2 guys that go down, and they made 2 blocks here on the outside. Carlos, the only 2 blocks they needed, and the rest is just his speed.
But when you lose 2
and that's a great spot. And, of course, Auburn, which had made some massive...
Runs a 4-3. I mean, look at
Jimbo
Come on, baby. Come on.
14.3.
run.
Hey, so Chris, what was that guy's name? How many hours of pregame show could we have done before in 11? Play breaks down, pump it. You know what? This is when you're starting to go, Auburn need to find ways in improbable
It's so tough to tackle Trey Mason when your defense is worn out.
Well, I thought he ran.
Coach would get free again.
Yeah, and they knew Coach had to make a difference, trying to get separation from Keaton in that catch as well.
This is a run right here now.
That's a true freshman having to come up. Welcome.
But notice the time down there.
Yeah.
It would have been better for them to kind of get tackled down in there.
Yeah,
You never know if the guy makes the tackle, the game might end up differently.
You're sure right.
Especially when you're down happen, you got to make sure
Yards away, 2 timeouts, minute 11.
And, you know, he told me this week that Rashad Green took him under his wing, the most trusted receiver he had.
And I know they have a lot of confidence in this. This was a great play.
He's still a freshman at times, and it expires, and it sets a backslide. Goal return. Pass interference, pretty clear call in the end zone here.
Yeah, we kept waiting for
Likes him.
I mean, it's pretty there.
You just trust in him. Inside route goes up and gets
Cover.
You knew that this was coming. He can't stop.
tonight to come back from 20 title game history. They come back from 80 yards away, 6